Son, where'd you find this? Oh,
What's up? How's it going? Good to see you. Good to be here. Welcome to the lab.
oh my.
Settle in here. Got some movement on the Carlee Russell case. It's getting more and more odd. Tons of secrecy surrounding it at the early stage of the investigation. However, her parents go on camera to give an interview, which may or may not be a good idea. Specifically, since there is no abductor that has been caught or child that has been found, but I reserve judgment. I don't know what happened to the young lady. I do know that she's safe. But her parents giving this interview the way that they did kind of lends to the fact that, well, either they absolutely know something, they believe her, or, they know something. There's just that's all there is to it. Who knows? Who knows what it is? We don't know. We don't know what happened to her. We can speculate. And they even go into, well, the speculation is hurtful. And I can completely understand how speculation would be hurtful when you're talking about a case like this. Because no matter what happened, it's going to come out and it's going to be bad. Now, do I think that she could have been abducted? I do. Do I think that she could have seen a child? I do. Do I think that she's lying? I'm just not willing to go there because I don't actually know. I have no clue. But her parents believe her. That much we can absolutely understand. I just don't know what to make of the situation. And where the wind blows says, I'm with you. I just saw 4,000. Yeah. I'm sure that they're getting hammered. They're getting just completely destroyed. Linda gifting a membership, and Chris Melcher gets the membership. Thank you, Chris. Hunter's good to see you. Single mama 4. Good to see you guys. Let's go ahead and let's just get into it. I mean, there's just, what are we waiting around for? We'll come back to this. We'll circle back because there is some information that I do think, you know what? Let's read the press release from the spa really quick. We'll start there. How's that? Press release, July 18th, 2023, 3 p.m. Carlee Russell case in response to many inquiries, Woodhouse Spa, Birmingham. Can you imagine having to work there and people, just concerned citizens calling? Like, don't do stuff like that. I don't know why people do that. It's up for the investigators, but I'm sure that they just got called over and over and over because that's what they do. And I have no idea why, but don't, just let it be. Those poor spa workers. You imagine that for real? Like, imagine that. Sucks. Good to see you. Penny, good to see you as well. KP, still in leather. You guys super active in the chat already, and we're just underway here on the lab. Let's go ahead and read this In response to the many inquiries Woodhouse Spa Birmingham has received over the last several days regarding the Carlee Russell case, we offer the following. Our greatest concern has always been the well-being of Carlee and her safe return. Woodhouse Spa employees have been deeply impacted by the events that transpired, but now ecstatic with the news of Carlee's return home. Our employees worked extremely hard through very tough times, keeping guests happy while dealing with the fact that their coworker was missing. We've been working with the Hoover Police Department since Friday morning, the morning following Carlee's disappearance, in order to come up with any information that would help the investigation. Everything we uncovered is in the position of the Hoover Police Department. We understand the investigation is in a very sensitive state and do not want to release any details that could jeopardize the investigation. Leaks, both true and untrue, can have a devastating impact on any investigation. We understand there are many posts on social media claiming certain information to be true. Some items are factual while others are not. Please rest assured that the Hoover Police Department is working around the clock to bring this case to a conclusion. We have great confidence in the investigators and expect a resolution soon. See Stuart Rome, owner, and I'm sure that he never imagined that he would be making statements like that. But he does now. Let me just verify where this came from. And let me just play this here. Sure. Well, no, I'm going to read this. The night Russell disappeared, the police department said she went to Target on Highway 280 after leaving her job and purchased snack food items. Police said these items were not located inside her abandoned vehicle or with her cell phone and wig at the scene of her disappearance. That's interesting. Hoover PD said that it has not located any evidence of a toddler walking down the interstate, nor received any additional calls about a toddler walking down the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through that area, as depicted by the traffic cam surveillance video. The police department said it has also obtained surveillance footage from the night Russell returned to her parents' house. Police said the footage is from Russell's neighborhood and shows her walking down the sidewalk alone, walking down the sidewalk alone prior to her arrival at her residence. Fire department radio traffic obtained by several media outlets show that medics were dispatched to her residence on an quote unresponsive but breathing person. That term used in the initial dispatch of the Hoover Fire Department to the residents, and the information about the condition was simply a dispatcher relaying information from what a 911 caller told the emergency communicator. So basically what they're saying is the reason those terms were used was simply for the fact of that's what was said to them. It wasn't a official medical term. It wasn't an official medical doctor saying it. It was just relative information. And we know a bit about that as well. So Sally says, I've been waiting to hear your take on this, Josh. Well, Wait no longer. Okay, when first responders arrived on the scene, when first responders arrived on the scene, police said that they found conscious and speaking, and she was transported in that condition. She was later treated and released from a local hospital fairly quickly, I might add. Police said numerous evidentiary items are still being evaluated, and those items are key in the process of determining exactly what took place in the approximately 49 hours Carlee was missing, but also what took place prior to her disappearance. So the leading up, the time, and then the after, but they're saying that she went to Target. They say that she went to Target, that she bought some items, but those items were not located, which I find extremely interesting. I'm not really sure what to make of it. I'm not that smart, but I know that that is an odd thing. Also, the child not being found, all of these things, and you'll hear this in the interview. The parents are very, I guess you could say, offended, and I would rightfully so. I would imagine that their daughter is being questioned for her story thus far. I can understand that, but I can also understand skepticism. So I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and check out the interview, NBC exclusive.
That moment you all first laid eyes on her again, what was it like?
To me, I mean, just so much joy.
This morning, in an exclusive sit down with NBC News,
Wait, what?
The parents of 25
Why are you talking?
5-year-old Carlee missing for more
Because best we could, but we tried to
more than 48 hours. What did you do when you saw her?
we tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But
Single mom, thank you. I just saw that.
Last Thursday, police say Carlee called
Thank you for gifting a
911 to
membership.
report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running. All her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
there were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out.
And I don't disagree with the let the investigation play out, but I mean, I would have probably, if I was to give advice to the parents, which my advice is dog crap most of the time, I wouldn't be talking at all until we knew. This feels like they're going on the offensive for some reason, maybe just to defend their daughter. And I can completely understand that. Trust me, I have no issue with that. But if this turns out to be something other than what they're doubling down on, I think it's a bad move to give an interview. But that's just my thought.
But mentioning an abductor, her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely.
And the thing is, like, what are they going to say? No. I mean, that's a loaded question. Do you believe that? And mom hits it with the absolutely, dad with the windmill. Huh. Smiley wants to know, what do you think LE means when they said they will question her when the time is right? Probably when she was out of the hospital and deemed okay, cleared by doctors or psychologists or a team of all of them. I don't know. I would think that it would probably have a lot to do with whoever, signing off on it. They're not going to want to question her in a tragic state.
Absolutely.
NBC News has reached out to the Hoover Police Department to ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee.
So this is where I am struggling with the abductor thing. And the only reason I say that is because if there really is an abductor out there, Hoover PD, it would behoove them to let the public know that there is somebody out there that is kidnapping and holding people or doing God knows what. So that would, to me, indicate that there is no suspect. They don't have an actual suspect, and they just don't yet. If a suspect arises at some point, I would think that then you would have something, but it doesn't sound like they have a suspect. It doesn't sound like they have any leads. Maybe they do. But if there is somebody out there running around that is dangerous, kidnapping humans, but letting them live and go home or got fought off, people in that area need to know. People in that area need to know that, let me see. She didn't have to take the snacks with her. I don't know what that means. It feels like a hoax for me. I'm really iffy on calling it a hoax just because there's so far there's nothing to me that indicates that it's a hoax, but a hoax is such a strange term because the hoax could be on her parents. She could have been trying to get over on her parents, or I just don't see the big payoff. If it is something like that, it's most likely personal. And that's just how I see it. But I just don't think that I don't think that they have located anybody as a suspect yet.
And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, we can't discuss the details of that.
But they say one thing is clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her
Oh,
life?
she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
And that's true. She definitely did make it back. The very demonstrative, yes, we believe that. Let me see. And Kels, there was a good comment here. Of course, I probably lost it because I'm an idiot. Hannah says they won't talk to local news channels because they need privacy, but will talk to the worldwide news station. They did nothing for their privacy. I know that. She absolutely hair curlers and crimes. Excuse me. Hair curlers and crimes asks, could she have been in shock when she arrived home? Absolutely. Absolutely possible. Well, anyway, the comment was kind of the nature, hey, they wouldn't tell us if there was a suspect or, yeah, maybe that's true, but they're already claiming that there was an abductor, that she is claiming that she was abducted. The parents stand by her. The only thing that hasn't corroborated what she's saying are the police. And that's really where the rubber meets the road on this. Did she see a child? Why did she pull over in the first place? I mean, why call 911 if you didn't see a child? That's really a big question that I have as well. Did she get caught? I don't know. Did she? She did? Oh, okay. So I guess you must know something more than me. I think she's being truthful for her truth. And so she did get caught stealing money from her job? Is that true? I don't know. So is it that was a busy road and no one else said a child? That's the rumor. I haven't heard that rumor. That's an interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she. I don't know. What I can tell you is that this is not. This isn't your. This is not a standard cut and dry. Karen says if mental health HIPAA laws will not allow info. I don't know. I mean, they would have to probably give some sort of explanation just because of the public response. And that's kind of what I've been thinking as well. If this was a quote unquote mental breakdown or a psychological break or whatever you want to call it, and that is very likely. I'm hearing there's a press conference tomorrow. Well, if that's the case, then we will be watching. We will be watching. That would be interesting. I think that they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to say something, especially with the threat of, hey, there's somebody out here. I'm hearing there's a press conference tomorrow, a single mom of 4. So there is a press conference tomorrow. Okay. Well, that'll be interesting. All right. Well, then, I mean, we'll make sure to, I'll set a live so we can listen to it together and then we will react to it. Sounds like we may get some more answers tomorrow. And that's a good thing because the longer this goes on, the more speculation. Yeah, you know what? And conversations, living room Conversations living room with RJ. RJ says HIPAA protects personal information from being public knowledge for medical. That is true, but that doesn't mean that they won't say that there was something psychological. But they're not going to give a diagnosis if they have a diagnosis. But the fact is, there was a big public response to this whole thing. And yes, I did read. Let's go ahead. Very odd that the workplace puts out a press release. I mean, I've never seen that like this. HIPAA. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I got you. All right. So, like I said, I've never seen this, but let's just read it again. This is a press release from her job. In response to the many inquiries, Woodhouse Spa, Birmingham, and I am just learning of this rumor, and I did read a little bit about it just now. None of it's verified. We don't know if she has done this or not, so I don't want to jump to that conclusion. But I don't know. In response to the many inquiries Woodhouse Spa Birmingham has received over the past several days regarding the Carlee Russell case, we offer the following. Our greatest concern has always been the well-being of Carlee and her safe return. Woodhouse Spa employees have been deeply impacted by the events that transpired, but are now ecstatic with the news of Carlee's return home. Our employees worked extremely hard through very tough times, keeping guests happy while dealing with the fact that their coworker was missing. And they go on to say that they have been working with the police department since Friday morning, the morning following Carlee's disappearance, in order to come up with any information that would help the investigation. Everything we've uncovered is in the position, or yeah, that's another thing. Nobody read this? Horton 13, what does that mean? I'm curious. The parents warned her this might happen, and it did. In my opinion, they're all involved in this hoax. What did the parents warn her would happen? What is that? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I am curious. Her parents specifically did. The police would have pulled the video at the hotel if it was an abduction. LE would have released info for women to be aware of their surroundings because of an abduction. I'm not disagreeing with that, Lake Superior girl. However, that's not what her folks are saying publicly. She is 25 years old, and they're doubling down that yes, she was fighting for her life and that she was abducted. Now, fighting for her life. Her mother absolutely did say that she believed that her daughter was abducted. Let me bring something else up real quick. Hold on. All right, we'll do the. All right, let's take a look at this. If I get copyright struck or get shut down, you'll know why.
This is WVTM 13. Breaking news is happening right now. And that breaking news, Hoover police getting an update in the Carlee Russell disappearance.
In the last hour, we've learned the department will hold a press conference tomorrow afternoon. WVTM 13's Aaron Llewellyn joining us now with the latest. This story has captivated the nation, Aaron.
Yes, guys, Sherry. Since Carlee Russell reported a toddler walking on I-459, there have been several questions about what happened leading up to and during the 49 hours that she was missing. Now, let's take a look at that timeline. Carlee called 911 to report what she saw on the highway. But when police arrived, all they could find was her wig, her phone, and her Apple Watch and her car. This led to a multi-search for Carlee in a massive social media campaign that ended with her walking to her parents' house late Saturday night. Hoover police have also released new facts from the investigation, the biggest one being that police did not have any evidence that a toddler was walking down the interstate, and no calls were made to police about seeing the child. And after leaving work Thursday, Carlee stopped at a nearby Target to—
So that is going to be the biggest thing about this, is the reason that she stopped. The reason that she stopped was because she saw a toddler. But right off the bat, there is no toddler. Now, I've heard people say, you know, that there was an on-ramp, and then she could have seen the child on the other side. That's why she was driving on the shoulder of the road, looking possible, but they said no child as of yet.
To get some snacks, but they were not found in her car. Detectives also have video from Carlee's neighborhood, which shows her walking down the sidewalk alone prior to her getting to her house on Saturday night. When first responders got there, they found Russell conscious and speaking, and she was transported in that condition. She was later treated and released from a local hospital. Now, again, Hoover police will have a press conference where we can expect them to release more details about what happened that night. That press conference is expected to start at 2:30, and we will bring that to you on air and online. But for right now, we're live in Birmingham. Aaron Llewellyn, WVTM 13.
Well, right now there's a severe thunderstorm warning in Tuscaloosa and Jefferson counties.
Track on the
They say she bought some snacks.
indicator, so it
Past new developments in the Carlee Russell case. Hoover police providing new information about the night Carlee went missing and the day of her return, including Carlee going to Target on Highway 280 after leaving the Colonnade. They say she bought some snacks that were not found inside her vehicle that was found on I-459. Police also saying there was no evidence of a toddler walking down the interstate, no other calls about it either, and that she was walking alone in her neighborhood when she returned on Saturday. Now, for those who live near the Russell family, they're all celebrating her safe return. Since her disappearance last week, many neighbors have been putting ribbons on their mailboxes to show their support for the family. Some say they're thankful she's back home, but still have a lot of unanswered questions.
We're definitely glad to hear that, just once again, just with her missing and, living a street over, it was a little overwhelming for everybody that lived here, and, just trying to find those details and trying to find out where she was. And so that's definitely a sigh of relief.
And at this point, Hoover police aren't saying much about the investigation, but Carlee's parents are adamant someone took their daughter against her will. In an exclusive interview with NBC's Today Show, Carlee's mother emphasized that there were moments during her disappearance where she had to fight for her life. And when she arrived back home, she was visibly traumatized by the whole ordeal.
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
Talitha Russell wouldn't share any of the details that her daughter.
Yeah, and I mean, going on to say that's why I think that this was a bad idea by her parents to go on TV this early and say, yeah, she was fighting for her life, which she very well could have been. And they're either taking her word for it or they know something else from police. I think that they're taking her word for it at this time, but that doesn't mean that it's not true. That just means that they're relying on her word for it.
Daughter shared with her, citing it could hurt the investigation that is underway. For the full interview with Carlee's parents, head to our website or download the WVTM 13 app in the App Store or on Google Play. We will also hear from Hoover Police tomorrow, as we just mentioned. A news conference is scheduled for 2:30 at the Frank and Pam Barfield Training Center. We'll carry that on air, and we'll have it for you on our website, WVTM13.com.
The people across the Birmingham Metro mourning the loss of a firefighter. Ellen has more with city leaders come together to East.
At risk.
The soldiers believed to be in North Korean custody after crossing the border from the south.
That moment you all first laid eyes on her again, what was it like?
To me, I mean, just so much joy.
This morning, in an exclusive sit down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell are speaking out, describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 48 hours.
What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But
yeah, Brittany, I'm wondering about
Thursday,
that too.
Police say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler.
The conversation is odd, or the interview is odd, because they're giving no details about anything other than that she was abducted, fighting for her life. But we don't know the source of that. We don't know if that's her just talking about it. We don't know if
walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running. All her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
NBC News has reached out to the Hoover Police Department to ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee.
And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, we can't discuss the details of that.
But they say one thing is clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
Yeah, she did make it back. All right, Priscilla, so investigators are obviously busy on this case. What are they looking into going forward?
Yeah, Hoda, right now they're analyzing that initial 911 call and also that traffic cam video showing that car driving on the interstate very slowly with its flashers on, believed to be Carlee's car. And of course, they're looking at the evidence from the crime scene, including the car and her cell phone, which was found on the roadway nearby. Police say that they have been able to account for all of her steps.
So, as of this exact moment, here's where I'm leaning. So it has something to do with the job. I don't know if the rumors are true. I found it interesting that there are rumors going around about her possibly stealing from work, but that there was evidence that the work had to turn over to law enforcement. I found that interesting. I also find it interesting that the parents. I think it's interesting that the parents held their own little preemptive, but I also just read from a very reliable source that she has not made herself available for a statement yet. And that was as of a few hours ago. So that's interesting as well. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm still looking. I'm digging. Yeah, she is. It does kind of feel that way. You know what? I don't. I heard she has a lawyer. I'm sure. This page has gone away. Let me play this for you really quick. There's this lawyer who's been covering um and I'm kind of curious
about this. Carlee's parents, y'all, went on the Today Show and did an interview. Today is July 18th. They bypassed Fox 6. They bypassed Channel 13. I know y'all out here.
So this guy is very skeptical of what's going on. I'm not saying he knows what it is or what's going on, but I am kind of curious to hear what he has to say.
The whole time that this story broke, 1342. I know y'all out here like 24/7, but we went straight to the Today Show for an exclusive interview.
So this guy's name is Eric Gusser. He's a lawyer out of Birmingham, and there's something, like I said, there's something going on. Let's just hear it.
Yeah. This is what happens with interviews. If those of you who are not familiar with me, I'm a legal analyst for CNN, MSNBC. I usually do a lot of Fox News. They got a little.
All right, so he's a legal analyst. He's a legal analyst that goes on major. He goes on major networks and talks. So okay, so
don't do Fox News anymore. But major outlets pay for interviews.
He just said that
they pay people for interviews. And
he just said that he doesn't go on Fox News anymore, probably because after January 6th, he lost his buds. I'm just kidding.
That was one of the most bizarre interviews I have seen.
Watch whose first interview, this guy's?
And I looked at it, and I'm going to talk about that. It's money. They pay for this stuff. They pay for this stuff. And this is what you have to pay attention to in this interview, okay? Because in criminal law, the details matter. The details matter.
What are we talking about? The first interview with this guy? What first interview? There was one before this. Okay, I'll take a look. Trying to find it. Trying to find it. Stop. Collaborate. Okay, so this one's 22 minutes. Let's hear let's hear the first one. Okay, so this is the first. I believe this is the first one.
Post I made this morning, and it definitely was very interesting. But I'm going to break down how I got there, what my analysis of this situation was, and the evidence that I saw that got me to the conclusions that I made. I fully understand the emotions a lot of people have. When you have a young lady who's missing for days, her family didn't know where she was, her friends did not know where she was, her coworkers, everybody that loved her was frantic. People who did not know her, including me, were frantic. Thursday night, frantic. What do you mean some girl's missing? What you mean a black girl is missing in Birmingham, Alabama, got snatched?
She's 25.
Me out. And I am very thankful that Carlee is safe. I am thankful that she's alive, and all of us who wanted her to be found safe are very thankful for that. And this morning, I woke up and I looked at social media, and people were like wearing each other out. They were insulting each other back and forth. Y'all wanted her to, if you didn't make good grades, how can you add 2 + 2? All the insults. People put insults under my post. But think about me. I do this for a living. I'm a lawyer and a legal analyst for a living. And when you're on the national scale, people tag, trash, email, bash all the time when you say things that they don't like. So I'm fine with that. But the thing about me is I deal with facts. And we're going to get to the facts of this. And I'm going to tell you how I got to my conclusions that I simply did not believe the story. Now, this morning, of course, I was like, man, I need to sit this one out. I need to sit this one out because this is bad. But people look to me for guidance and facts, and that's what I'm here to do now.
All right, well, let's get to the facts, dog.
Carlee went missing Thursday night. Everyone was in a panic, thinking that there was a trafficking thing going on. There were babies being used as bait on roads. People were frantic. I mean, I'm talking to my wife. Make sure you don't stop if somebody needs help. We're having those conversations. I'm calling family members. Make sure you don't stop if somebody needs help. And I still believe that now. You call for them, don't stop. But what this case did was it played into the fears of everyone. A young, attractive woman is missing in the heart of Hoover, Alabama, in the heart of Jefferson County. That happened Thursday. And Friday afternoon, I finished my work. And then I started questioning the story. I started thinking about, not questioning it, but I was thinking about, man, what could have happened to that young lady? And I thought about what information had been released. And we're going to take that one by one. I'm going to tell you how I got to my conclusion. And I got to my conclusion Friday that this did not add up. I started questioning the story where it was stated that a baby was on I-459. A baby was on I-459, a toddler, and she stopped to help. And Saturday, everyone was in people's feeds. Y'all telling somebody not to stop, don't need to stop, not to stop. And I was like, that story doesn't make sense.
That's true.
I'm a former criminal defense lawyer and currently a personal injury lawyer who handles 95% of our injuries or wrecks. And we deal with accidents and reconstruction And this is the fact about that. If you are driving 55 miles per hour, it will take you approximately 70 yards to stop. The speed limit on 459, I believe, is 70, which will take you about 100 yards. That is the length of Legion Field to stop. So if a person saw, and let's get to the facts of what was stated. You saw a toddler on the freeway at night going 55 miles per hour. I knew that was impossible. When a person is driving on a freeway, they have no idea what's on the shoulder. If you're driving 55 to 70 miles per hour, it would take you 70 yards past the person you saw. Then did you back up? Did you put in reverse and back up to go way 100, a whole football field back? I was like, I was talking privately to some people, and I was like, this don't make no sense. Because the facts are the facts. Once you take the emotion out of it and deal with the facts made no sense. Then Saturday, one of my colleagues sent me the video that they posted, and I was like, wait. So the 911 call said that she saw a toddler, and she was riding the shoulder with her blinkers on for what appeared to be about 60, 70 yards. How? Because all we can go off of the 911 call. How did those things didn't add up? I saw a toddler and I stopped to aid this toddler. Then she's on the phone. She's riding down the street.
Let me read a couple things here that I'm getting sent. Hold on one second here. Yeah, really? So this is just some of the rumors that are floating around, and I don't mind sharing them because there's so much speculation that none of it really makes any sense. The story itself. Yeah, I do think that they will charge her. I do. However, it's not that severe of a punishment, to be honest with you. All right, so Iris Nicole Patterson. All I'm going to say is this. I had a long conversation with one of the people, and we'll see if this stuff pans out or not. All of this stuff is alleged. All of it is alleged. None of it is confirmed by me or anything that I've seen. I just know that this is what certain people that are close to the investigation are saying. Not that it's true. All I'm going to say is this. I had a long conversation with one of the people who were part of Carlee's search party. The entire town is pissed because they weren't given any updates after she showed up to her doorstep. That's one of the parts that I find absolutely crazy as well. It's alleged that she went through a breakup with her boyfriend and planned her own kidnapping to get his attention. And she was at the Red Roof Inn for 2 days. Now, remember, we heard the Red Roof very early on. And she called her cousin saying that this plan escalated too quickly and she didn't know what to do. This is the discussion happening in that small town. It's alleged. The town is pissed because they helped search for her. They're saying if anybody is owed an explanation, it's them. And I can understand their perspective. And Here's the update. She's sticking to that she was abducted. She says she was lured into the woods by someone who lives in the woods. Described a person with orange hair, balding on top, and tied her up and drove her around and put her in an 18-wheeler and fed her Cheez-Its for 2 days. And they painted her nails. Oh, what? Why'd they paint her nails? Painted her nails? What the frig does that mean? Painted. Okay. All right. They kept her on 150 somewhere, and somehow she manages to get away and runs through the woods to the neighborhood, through her neighborhood until she gets to her house and then goes to the hospital. Hoover got some Ring doorbell footage from their neighborhood, and it shows her walking casually until she gets to her house. And by the way, we'll know tomorrow if this is true or not. Well, maybe we will. Until she gets to her house and then goes to the hospital, Hoover's got some Ring doorbell footage. Until she gets close to her house and then starts sprinting and flailing arms, acting a fool. That's interesting. Now, this is an alleged screenshot. I don't know if this is true or not, but let's just take a look. Pick me up in the neighborhood behind the high. We'll make it seem like a staged kidnapping in progress, but it won't actually be. When I go missing, you both will only know. The person says, "Will do. I'll be coming to our. You'll be coming to our house. Stay for a few days. We'll make sure to have a story to cover this all up." I mean, that who would send that text message? I don't know if I believe that text message. Who the hell would send that text message? I mean, that's like a smoking gun, isn't it? What son of a gun. God, can you, if any of this is true, even if one of these is true, this is crazy. Okay, so something redacted. I know. If that is actually a real text message that was sent for somebody that's going to run a hoax to cover up whatever the hell's going on. Holy crap. Okay, with the Hoover Fire Department, I've got pre-hospital and hospital side of things as the Hoover PD info. And if I knew we wouldn't lose our jobs, which I need to feed our children, I would tell you all the tea, but I'm 99% sure with evidence to prove it. This girl had a psychotic break and has fooled the entire nation. Like, this job has made me stone cold. I don't believe a word that comes out of anyone's mouth anymore. They will play you for a fool. I doubt the public will get anything more than she's home, safe, getting the help she needs, and that'll be it. This girl was actually abducted for trafficking. If this girl was abducted for trafficking, she would have been halfway across the country by now. All right. It's interesting. So here's another alleged text message. And once again, these are all alleged. She stole money from work, completely fabricated story. Hoover just hit her phone and reviewed the video of the Red Roof Inn of her checking into the room. I don't know who this is. Oh my Lord, I figured something shady was happening. I just want to know, did her family know or was in on it? No, they didn't know. They tried to deny the Red Roof Inn story as it unfolded because they knew she was bullshiz and didn't want, because they knew she was bullshiz and didn't want the embarrassment. And I can understand that as well. Oh man, that's horrible for her family. They seem like well-off family, but she's going to get ate alive once those details are public and spread around. Of course, I'm not going to say anything. I just meant in general. Yep, as she should. We'll see. Now, this is the one that I found the most interesting. Captain of Hoover Fire Department. This is alleged. Captain of a Hoover Fire Department says she got caught stealing from work that day. Now that would make sense. That's why I was thinking, and this is the first time I'm reading this, but the fact of the matter that her job released anything, that her job made one little comment about this, I find extremely interesting. Like there's something had happened there. Like maybe she got fired. Maybe she was fighting with her boyfriend. Who knows what happened? Who knows? But it's shaken out to be, it's obviously not everything that is cooked up to be, and this is getting weirder by the day. And hopefully we'll have some clarification tomorrow. Captain of Hoover Fire Department, she got caught stealing from work that day. Thank you, Linda. That's very nice of you. Donate membership. Who got the membership? Denise Stagner. What's up, Denise? Okay. Okay. She had her friend pick her up behind. She had her friend behind her, and that's who picked her up. She was with her friend all weekend. Wow. Wow. The police knew she was safe because she blocked her ex-boyfriend weeks ago, and she added him back while she was abducted. That's crazy. He called the cops to tell them half a day before she went back home. Half a day. She planned to disappear, realized that this wasn't going to work. Wild. And that is wild if that is actually the case. Kisser of Dog says, just got here. Not sure if this has been mentioned, but I read that she has a master's degree in psychology, which is interesting. By the way, I live in Birmingham or Beham. And although I'm waiting for official facts, but I'm skeptical. And you have every right to be skeptical. You have every right to question it. But what we don't have the right to do is insult the lady or her family or anything like that. It's just unnecessary. Which is unnecessary. We don't know what's going on in this person's life. We don't know what happened yet. Reserving judgment is probably a good thing, but it's okay to be skeptical. It's okay to not, but like the first time you hear it, you're going, well, it seems like there's much more to the story. If you go back from the first day that we started covering this, it is strange. The manicure thing, it would make sense that, because right on the other side of that freeway is a cul-de-sac or something like a neighborhood. And so somebody could have been waiting on the other side. And I believe that if there was an abductor out there, that we would probably know that there was actually an abductor. The hunter says, I'm 37 minutes from where this happened. It's kind of strange. We need answers. It sounds like, it really, really does sound like that town kind of has their mind made up of what happened. And they're not too pumped about it. Let me go back to this guy real quick, who was supposed to be giving us facts at some point, but I haven't really seen any yet.
Shoulder on 459 with her blinkers on.
So are we saying that Eric Guster lives in Birmingham? Is that what we're saying?
And this is the best part of the video. Like, people were looking at all the shadows and ATVs and all that. People came out of the woods. That's where you missed the point. The cars near her put on.
Eric says, I still feel bad for her. Call me crazy. Look, I completely understand what you're saying. And I actually kind of do too. Not kind of, I do, because I don't know what's going on in this young lady's life. And if she was abducted, I feel awful for her. If she had a mental break, I feel awful for her. If she did this for some sort of attention and didn't expect it to get to this, I feel bad for her as well. I feel bad for her family and friends, and it's actually really sad. Like I said, whatever this ends up being is going to be horrible. There's no good outcome here. If she's lying, people are going to destroy her, which they already are. They're starting to. It'll be 10 times worse. And if she was abducted, there's an abductor out there abducting people off the side of the road, and there's babies running around on the side of the road. It doesn't seem like a well thought out story.
On their brights, and all of them slowed down. So, and that's what I saw in the video. I look for other cars, because if someone's kidnapping you, they got to take your body away, because Hoover was there fast. Hoover was there fast. 4 minutes is a fast.
They were there fast, and that makes me think that maybe, because she had to go through the woods, that's who she was looking for, her friend on the other side. If that's the case, if her friends were involved in this, they're going to be in trouble.
Fast response time. They were actually, I think, 3.5 minutes or so. Hoover was there for a very fast response time, and the things didn't add up. And when you're dealing with a case, all you can deal with are the facts that are presented. And Friday, like it's a Friday afternoon, I was like, this don't make no sense. But this is
Oh, I think we will.
I know people pay attention to what I write. And I was not going to write that I did not believe her at that time.
Yeah, you will.
I did a video. I need to find my video. I did a video of me Friday night talking about this case, but I said, I am not going to talk about it. Did this be Friday night?
I don't think so.
Let's talk about it. Today is July 14th, Friday, July 14th, and yesterday, on the 13th, the young lady reported missing at the Galleria flyover.
I did that for me.
And I'm saying this just for my phone purposes. I would never do a Facebook Live about this, but this case seems so weird. I've shared it, and I hope that this is a hoax. But for someone to be driving 70 miles per hour on a freeway and see a baby at night, then stop, then somehow snatched and wig left behind, watch and phone left behind. It sounds so weird.
That's true.
I did that Friday night for my records but I did not put this out there because suppose I could be wrong. And I always, being a public figure, being someone who represents my community, I'm very, 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 very careful about the things that I do, things that I say, and things that I write. In this year, if you look back on my Facebook page, I have been not active at all on social media. This year, I made a vow. January 1st, I ain't gonna be in no Facebook fights. I ain't got time for that. I'm doing what I do. All right. Now, let's get to the video. People put their brights on. Slow down. Nobody else called in about this baby. Nobody. No reports, because Hoover PD would have said by then there are multiple reports about a baby being found. And then today, you get to today about the press release. Hoover was very tactical. I mean, Hoover dropped that video and like, here y'all go. Y'all figure it out yourselves. And in the press release today, it confirmed what I thought. Carlee's 911 call was the only call about a baby on the interstate that she called and said it was a male on the interstate. How you know it's a male on the interstate if you drive 55 miles an hour?
That's a good point.
On 459.
I was thinking that too.
How you know it's a boy? I walk with folks cheering. I don't know it's a boy or girl. Just say, hey, baby, really, 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 really nice.
Yeah.
You can't tell if a toddler is a boy or a girl. You don't know. And
I can't tell you how many kids that I've been like, oh, you got a cute little girl, and like, it's a boy. And I'm standing right in front of them.
We're dealing with the facts, folks. And then they said the Apple Watch was in her purse. And I was like, wait. When they mentioned that the Apple Watch was left behind, I envisioned, oh my God, somebody taking me and my Apple Watch falls off. It was put in her purse.
The baby had a tattoo.
That's what you do when you don't want to track.
The baby had a tattoo. Is that true? Is that right?
And
One-Eyed Flo gifted a membership.
This happened.
And Dogs with Job was gifted that membership. Thank you, One-Eyed Flo.
And at night, folks, on one of the busiest interstates in the state of Alabama. Like we saw in
Is it real, Eric?
In the release.
Eric, I'm going to let you make this decision. I'm going to trust you as you're going to be co-producer of this show. Do I move on to the second video, sight unseen, right now? You hit me with a yes or no, whatever you feels best. I'm with you. This is your call. There's no consequences. Total amnesty for total honesty. You just tell me. Scroll up to Brooke's comment. I'd rather not. Okay. Huntress, you were close, right? I'll pay for the manicure if you will. Okay. All right, we'll move on. It's been set. It has been. Yeah, this video sucks, Eric. This one's longer.
Details will have someone in prison. I mean, I'm a legal analyst for CNN, MSNBC. I usually do a lot of Fox News. They got a little crazy, so I don't do Fox News anymore. But major outlets pay for interviews. They pay people for interviews. And that was one of the most bizarre interviews I have seen.
He's right. It is very bizarre.
And I looked at it, and I'm going to talk about that. It's money. They pay for this stuff. They pay for this stuff. And this is what you have to pay attention to in this interview, okay? Because in criminal law, the details matter. The details matter. Details will have someone in prison or have somebody free. The details matter. Her folks said, quote, "We tried to hug her the best we could,
Yeah.
but we had to stand back to let medical professionals do what they needed to do."
I found that weird.
Her parents called 911 after she got there. The medical professionals weren't there at the time. They had to call 911 for the medical professionals to come at the time. And you cannot convince me that if a child...
I don't think anybody's disputing, Eric, that the parents had to call 911. I know that they gave a wonky answer, but like, I didn't think you cracked the case by this.
Was missing for 2-3 days that her parents did not hug her. The story didn't make sense. And I was not going to talk about this until the press conference that Hoover is setting up for. I was not going to talk about this. And then let's talk about some more of this stuff. Well, first of all, I think Carlee saw something on the side of the road. News break. She saw something on the side. It was the Mobile leprechaun that she saw on the side. That's why I have on my green shirt. Because she saw the Mobile leprechaun. If you're not from Alabama, Google it. It was a Mobile leprechaun that she saw on the side of the road. All right. And because the parents are saying that they're just an abductor. Okay. Yeah, green shirt because I think it's fine. The parents are saying there was an abductor. Let's get to the serious part about this case. It's been 4 days. And like I've told the media I've talked to, if there was an abductor snatching women on 459 every 15 minutes, we're looking for a black male, a white male, 6 feet tall or 3 feet tall, like the leprechaun.
All right. We get
who's snatching women.
He was very, he worked that one in. That's called a callback in comedy, when you make a joke and then you come back to it later. That's what he did. His timing wasn't that great, but it was okay at best.
So everybody be on the lookout. If there was an abductor.
So I've said this along with many other, but yes.
Snatching women on 459.
Eric says he breaks out a prop at one time. Can't wait for the prop.
Every 15 minutes.
Yes, she could have.
We're looking for a black male, a white male, 6 feet tall or 3 feet tall, like the leprechaun.
So stupid.
Who's snatching women?
Oh, 3 feet tall, like the leprechaun.
So everybody be on the lookout and be nervous. If there was an abductor. If there was an abductor. And when that interview, and what I do is I do notes, okay? I do notes. When I do Facebook Live, I really take it seriously. And those who are just following me, I take this seriously. I started practicing law in 2002. I've been doing this for 21, 22 years. I'm not new to this. This is what I do. I practiced criminal defense for over 10 years. And I used to have cases where a judge would give me the evidence on Thursday and I would go to trial on Monday. So those of you who read my status on Sunday, where I said she was lying, I was very convinced about that based upon the evidence I saw. I don't need 20 days. I used to try life in prison versus someone going free in 4 days. Ask the judges who are sitting on the bench right now, who used to be prosecutors, that I used to go against, and I used to.
I don't doubt this guy's credentials. It's just I don't care.
Win. Because I can break down evidence, and that's how I.
All right, break it down.
I can break down evidence, and let me tell you this part about this, because I got the notes.
Cool.
Oh
my God.
I view the parents as victims, because that was one of my notes I was going to talk about in this. The people who loved her were victims.
Yep, I agree.
That interview really bothered me. It bothered me. And we have to be patient with Hoover. We have to be patient with Hoover because Hoover was embarrassed on a national stage. You had every news station with a video showing searches, the Hoover exit, good old city of Hoover, and that's where you go to get snatched, and you're going to embarrass us on this national stage. And I expect Hoover to come with, they're probably editing video now, because what happens in these types of cases, they go to the Red Roof Inn, they go to where someone picked up lunch, they go where the person checked in, they go and retrace those steps. They have Ring cameras on all these houses. They are going to all these people. They're going to all these people and getting that footage, and Hoover's going to pretty much press play. That's what I fully expect from Hoover. They're going to make sure this is like a tsunami of information that it's going to be crazy. I believe it's going to be huge, and they're going to make a big splash. And I believe they're going to make an example of her.
I think that if it was all just a scheme for attention from her boyfriend or whatever, and I don't know if that's the case or not, she will definitely get in some trouble.
Because we were all hoodwinked. And those of you who are still stuck on she was abducted and all this, think about this. I said it a few minutes ago. If there is someone out here snatching women, we would have a description by now. Her parents in that interview said that we're still looking for an abductor. Who? The 3-foot abductor? 6 feet? 10 feet? I mean, how big is the dude? We need to know. And the part that I had so many people on myself, and this is what I want you to all do. I really need you all to do this, okay? I need you to do this. I had people attacking my business on Google reviews, bashing me.
The internet it's the same everywhere.
Go to my Guster Law Firm Google review and give me 5 stars.
No thanks.
Because they like 1 star, you're blaming this. It was live post. Was crazy. People were mentioning my children,
right,
and all kinds of stuff. And if you come at my kids, it's on. And you know who you are. When people got nasty with me and got nasty and said I'm unethical and shame on you, I do this for a living. Do you think that Eric Guster, the lawyer, real estate developer, would risk my reputation on some bull crap?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you are. You don't actually have. I haven't heard any facts. I'm sure he probably knows more than he's saying, but
you can best believe that if I write something or say something, I am pretty doggone sure it's accurate.
Right. Well, it's your opinion.
Because everything that I write, whenever I appear on national TV.
I don't want to hear about you.
And this is where y'all talking about the leprechaun came out early Sunday. When people lie, this is how boys and men end up in prison for the rest of their lives. This right here. Because when people come up with a story, they stick with it. They tell their parents, yeah, this happened. Oh my God, the daddy gonna be like, ready to fight somebody, gonna kill somebody, hurt my baby. They ready to get them. And they stick with their story.
What's up, Lex?
Even when they go to court, they stick with it. And then 20 years later, the evidence is being overturned and a person lost 20 years of their life in prison. That's why I, Eric Guster of Guster Law Firm, was unafraid to say this was a lie early because of the danger of this girl coming back and saying it was a black dude, 5'11", driving an Altima, who will pull up somebody in an Altima, and then they're in trouble. Or she has DNA on her from what she. Well, let me back up. I mean, I'm gonna do like Carlos King, the podcast my wife always listen to. Allegedly, I don't have to say that because these are facts. If a person has been somewhere for several days, they will generally have DNA on them and in them.
I got you.
Especially people who were doing something they got no business. Not saying I don't know anything what this young lady was doing.
Both of his
or
videos
who she
suck,
was with.
to be honest.
But I'm talking about cases in general. When people disappear and then they make up the why, they have evidence on them and in them associated with someone, and they will stick with that story until the end.
Okay. I mean, I could say the exact same stuff. I didn't find anything that he was saying useful. You said it was better. You didn't say it was good. That's true. Let me share this really quick. Okay, so, and I think we've seen most of this. Let me just double check for you here. The investigation into Carlee Russell case continues as detectives are working to determine what happened from the time prior to 911 call Thursday. The Hoover Police Department, they didn't locate the toddler. She went to Target, so we know all that. Yeah, so basically, there's a press conference tomorrow. Who knows? We'll find out, so it would be, dumb to keep speculating, but we will cover the press conference tomorrow. So make sure you guys come back tomorrow to the press conference. And I appreciate you guys being here. Lex says, if you're a lab rat, hit that thumbs up. Linda gifting membership, single mom gifting a membership. One-Eyed Flo, Kisser Dogs, thank you. And Single Mom as well. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Make sure to come back tomorrow and we can talk more about it. Maybe we'll have more answers tomorrow. The lag is no, I'm done with him. I'm good.
Oh my.
Done with him.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
All right, you guys. Have a good night.